Believe we are good. So, what is up, everybody? How are you doing in this stream? Welcome back to another weekly live stream here on Suns Digest. I'm Bruce Velez, and we're going to be discussing this Phoenix Suns team as we look at many different topics, but one in particular, a player who has really been shocking everyone in Bowl, as he has made it known on this Suns team that he is one of the valuable pieces, and it should be one of the valuable pieces going forward, as we've seen this Suns team obviously drop off a little bit in these last couple of games. So we're going to be diving in, looking at all of that, and discussing everything Phoenix Suns, answering your guys' questions, and also looking ahead at this Suns team as we gear up for this another doubleheader coming right forward us. We just had one recently with the Bulls, or excuse me, yes, with the Bulls and the Raptors, and we're getting another one in front of us once again with the New Orleans Pelicans. So it's going to be great. Going to be something that we got to listen into, got to break down. But shout out to everyone that's in the stream. Shout out to everyone that has been hanging out. I do appreciate everyone that does come into these weekly streams. And like I mentioned, we go live every single Thursday at this same exact time, 6 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Phoenix time, 3 p.m. Pacific, to discuss everything Phoenix Suns. So if you got any questions, got anything you want to talk about, let us know down below in the comment section. But like I've said on this channel before multiple times, Bol has been shocking everybody. And if we want to look at, hit the wrong button there, get into this one here, courtesy with the Suns stuff, we can get into some breakdowns looking at this Suns team and looking at Bol and how impressive he really has been for this Suns team. So let's go on to Twitter and let's discover and do some research on our guy Bol, as he has been absolutely electric. And I know that a lot of people want to see Bol starting again tonight, and I'm one of those people as well that would love to see Bol. Let's look at his stats as a starter so far this season for the Suns: 18.7 points per game, 8.7 rebounds per game, 1 steal per game, and 2.7 blocks. Now, obviously, the Suns are 0-3. They're not doing great in that time, but it is great to see Bol actually rise through these occasions and provide something for the Suns that they need. We all know with Yusuf Nurkic being out and being traded, the Suns still need some extra rebounding. Mason Plumlee isn't going to cut it, so having a player like Bol that can provide that extra rebounding is very key for this Suns team. I want to see it. Bol as a starter. Looking at stats right here. More points per game than Jimmy, Kawhi, Mobley, Bam, Halliburton, Bane, and Paul George. More rebounds than Embiid, Gafford, Luka, Chet, Steven Adams, LeBron, and Zach Edey. And more blocks than AD, Kessler, Jaren, Brook Lopez, Mobley, Kristaps, and Gobert. Now, obviously, it's a small sample size, but it is kind of crazy to see with how great Bol truly has been. And for PHNX, we've seen Bol unable to get his shot off late. Saying when you're playing with Book, Brad, and Kevin, they're usually worried about them. So sometimes I'll get lost, and all it takes is one dribble. Dwayne Rankins is a 7-footer getting lost. I mean, when you're playing with guys like that, you got to pick between me or them three. So, I mean, you're definitely trying to guard them first. And that's how Bol has been able, obviously, to succeed in these lineups alongside these guys. And even in our recent performance with the Phoenix Suns, we saw Bol get the start alongside Kevin Durant, Richards, Beal, and Booker. And that was a very good lineup for the Suns. As we mentioned, they did lose that game, unfortunately, to the Memphis Grizzlies, 151-148. But offensively, they gave us what we needed. It just needed some help defensively. What's up, Phoenix Suns fan, number one fan? How you doing tonight? Glad everyone is chilling in the stream. And if you guys do enjoy the stream, make sure to hit the like button so that we can get more people in the streams. Like we said, we're doing these weekly every single week. That's what weekly means. What am I talking about? So we be having fun breaking down the Suns team, going over everything. Unfortunately, Curtis not here today, but we will be seeing Curtis in some future streams as well. Is the mic even working? Like, yeah, yes. Okay. Okay. I guess it is. I guess because the Suns are on in 3 hours compared to now, and everyone's kind of just tuckered out about this team. Everyone is kind of done. But why is Kurt always not here? Well, Curtis also does another job besides just doing work for Digest Media, and he's been doing that the last couple of days, so that's why he hasn't been here. But let's go in and let's look at the analyzation of the games from the past week, and then we'll look into the future with this Suns team, as we saw them take on the San Antonio Spurs on last Thursday. Last time we did go live, and unfortunately for this Suns team, we saw a recipe of disaster. We saw Bradley Beal not in the starting lineup. This was the last game that Tyus Jones did start for the Phoenix Suns. And Nick Richards, 9 minutes, 6 rebounds with no Victor Wembanyama. Very puzzling. This game was Royce O'Neal's big game on the leaderboard, where he got a career high, I do believe. And Ryan Dunn only played 20 seconds in this game. Was not used at all when they were just slicing and dicing with the Aaron Fox, going at guys like Grayson Allen, going at guys like Tyus Jones, going at guys like Mason Plumlee. And it was even Royce O'Neal at some points, and it was just not great for this Phoenix Suns team. Looking down as well, you see guys like Iguodala not playing, Monte's been hurt, Damian Lee not playing, Micic not playing. A little questionable. But then we go into the next game, the one good game out of these four, which was the one versus the Bulls, in which the Suns were able to come out victorious. And I was at the Red Bull event, so I didn't get to watch this game live, unfortunately, but we did see Bradley Beal get inserted into the starting lineup, something that fans had been asking for, clamoring for, and not something that I necessarily agreed with 100%, but I was clearly proven wrong, as he inserted himself into the starting lineup and was very valuable. 25 points on a plus 11, 10 for 19 from the field, 3 for 7 from three-point range. And we've seen Bradley Beal be effective over these last couple of games since he's been involved in this starting lineup once again. So clearly, it's not Bradley Beal that's the issue. It's not the player of Bradley Beal that's the issue. It's the contract and the fit style, once again, with this team not having enough defenders, with also having too many players that need the ball in their hands to score. But they did show it off tonight here, obviously, versus the Bulls, where Beal, Booker, and Durant were easily able to get all their touches and showcase their skills. But like I said, after that, no one else can really go off offensively. Like I said, Grayson Allen, 1 for 4. Tyus Jones, 0 for 5. Royce O'Neal, 1 for 7. In games like this, to win this versus the Bulls, you have to have all three of them legitimately shine and come out and play their best basketball. So the fact that it gets to that point where the only game that you can win is them three beating a Chicago Bulls team who isn't that good in a close matchup, but also having to have all three guys go off because no one else can realistically step up is very, very hurtful. Then we look versus the Raptors. Raptors, again, pretty solid team versus the Suns. They usually know how to guard them. They're very lanky, and the Suns, as we all know, just have a bunch of guards. Multiple point guards, multiple shooting guards, no one else to really play other positions. So, unfortunately, that's the case. And it's just tough. They had no Jakob Poeltl in this game. No Jakob Poeltl. And the Suns still found a way to lose this one. Bradley Beal, 80% from the field in this game, shooting absolute perfect. 30 points for Bradley Beal. Booker, 31, combining for 61. Yet the Suns still found a way to lose. And after a Grayson Allen 3, it was looking like it could have been brought in close. But the Suns defense just once again absolutely atrocious. Transition defense really, really bad in this one. And it's just not great. Not great for Suns fans here as we have to deal with this. Richards, 21 minutes, and Nick Richards has been one that's gotten sporadic minutes as well. Like we mentioned, plays 6 minutes in one contest, 20 in another. It's very, very puzzling. And then the Grizzlies game, the most recent contest, the one that went to overtime, the one that shouldn't even went to overtime, in my opinion. Ultimately, the Suns losing to the Grizzlies here. Had the lead. Really good offensive game as well. Jaren Jackson fouled out. Devin Booker fouled out. It was a winnable game, but missed free throws late by Bull and Grayson Allen ultimately cost the game, with Ja obviously making the 1-3 that sends it into overtime, and absolutely ridiculous. Just disgraceful. And in overtime, Durant, Bull tried to win this game for the team, but defensively, once again, just could not do it. Turnovers in some of these games, the Suns didn't even have as bad turnovers as they usually do, yet they still lose and couldn't find a way to pull it out. Just disbelief. Let's look at the chat. Let's see what everybody's talking about, because I do see the chat popping off. What's up, Phoenix Suns fan? Kurt, King Nacho's here. Curtis Jones, unfortunately, is not here. Nacho, he's at his another job. If Josie's on a vacation far away, should I come and take talk it over. There's so many things I want to say. Like my girl's a little bit older. What's up, John? How you doing? How you doing? Oh my God, man. This is the chat? No. Is it not on? Why is it not working? Here it is. Here it is. Okay, I don't know why it's not working on that screen. Oh, okay. Okay. Give me a second. Give me a second. There we go. And there we go. Now we'll pop up. There we go. There we go. If Joey's on a vacation far away, should I come around and talk it over? There's so much things I want to say. I like my girl's a little bit older. Yeah. It's just tough. It's just tough. Oh, I'm not even on the screen. Whoopsie. Whoopsie. There we go. Now I'm back. In this offseason, we need to make some trades because if we don't, we will always be ass no offense. Yeah, we need some defense. And I wrote an article today about the Suns post Yusuf Nurkic trade, and if they've looked good in their post Yusuf Nurkic trade, which you guys should definitely check out after. Need to get rid of Beal. I still think that you need to get rid of Beal, King Nacho, but it's not for the reasons of him just being bad. It's just for the fact that he doesn't fit with this team. The contract's not there. And if they want to keep Durant and Booker, then yes. I'm on team optimism. Me and Suns Geek are riding that optimism wave, but we don't know. We don't know. I think a lot of Suns fans are not on the optimism wave. I'm riding the optimism wave. I want to see KD still here. I still think there's ways to get out of this, but we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. Sup, gang? Big Merc. What's up, Big Merc? Love that everyone's in the chat hanging out. Big Merc over Nurk. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, Nurk hasn't been that great for the Hornets either. If we want to look up Yusuf Nurkic's stats, speaking of Yusuf Nurkic, let's pull those up. Let's look how Yusuf Nurkic has been doing, fitting in. Oh, there's my article right there. The Phoenix Suns post Yusuf Nurkic trade. Has it helped or not? I gotta repost that, but let's look here real quick. If we look at Nurkic's splits, or game log, excuse me. Okay, 27 minutes, 12 points, 9 rebounds. That's not a bad game. 11 points. These two are pretty bad, I won't lie. His first two games, he was what? 4 for 14 from the field, 0 for 7 from 3. Last two games, 5 for 9, 4 for 6, 1 for 3, 1 for 3. But how's Cody Martin and Vasily Micic looked for this Suns team? Well, Suns fans, they haven't played. They haven't played. If you want to look at the box score and scroll down, Martin's been hurt, obviously, but Micic, who has just been sitting here, has not played. Micic, 7 points, 2 4 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 34% shooting from the field. In his last 10 regular season, once again, not getting much time. 1-3 since my 3-7 prediction. Yeah, my optimistic prediction is not going to come true. I don't think Beal going anywhere. You could build a team around, or it'll just be the John Wall Wizards. See, that's the thing. I think they're gonna be stuck with Book and Beal, and then they're ultimately gonna decide if Book wants to stay. And they can. We've seen, right, is ultimately in my eyes is I think they can build a team around Book and Beal at this point. It might not be a great team, right, but it would have to be all defense, all lanky wings, all physical threats down low, like guys like Tari Eason and Jabari Smith, guys that can be those lanky threats so that the Suns have some defensive pressure down low to help them out to compensate with their offensive scoring guards. Because ultimately, a player like Booker or Beal would need a defensive guard kind of paired next to them, similar to like an Amen Thompson, an Alex Caruso. Now, obviously, that's not going to happen with this Phoenix Suns team, but that's the type of guard you would like to pair alongside a guy like Devin Booker and or Bradley Beal to really succeed with this offense. And ultimately, I think the Suns are kind of not going to get to that point. So it's either do they move off and get a different guard, and do they move off Bradley Beal? Do they move off both, or do they move off Kevin Durant and kind of rebuild around the guards? Okay, let's look at some more chats here. I just want to use your love tonight. Suns should not have lost on Tuesday. Allen missing a late free throw hurt us a lot. I agree, David Ray. That is one of the games that you look at this Suns team and you chalk it up to them just having inexcusable miscues at the end of the game. Those missed free throws, something that I've seen with covering the Celtics as well as it's been a glaring issue. It's something that stings in the NBA, and unfortunately, it happened to the Suns in the worst case scenario. You saw John Morant make that three. The Suns played great defense on that as well. Bradley Beal putting his hands behind his back, not trying to get a foul, not trying to instigate anything. It's just, and of course, it's the one three that he makes as well. It's just unfortunate for the Suns. And look at the fact that, oh, Jaren Jackson got fouled out, oh, Devin Booker got fouled out, oh, KD didn't have, the greatest offensive game. But all those little extra things added on to the fact aren't as big of an issue in my eyes, because I still think this Suns team could win if they had capable defenders, and or if they played their best defender on this team more than 5 minutes a night. Specifically, when the team is just going at will, scoring against them. Why wouldn't they play their best defender? I don't know. I don't know. Bol Bol gonna get the start tonight? I hope so. I hope so. I know one of the writers from Brightside, Brandon, he tweeted out that he needs Bol Bol to start tonight, or else he's gonna be furious, and I retweeted that. So I 100% agree. We need Bol Bol to start tonight. Get Bol Bol in that game and get him active for this Suns team. Like I said, with having Bol Bol in the starting lineup, it allows Kevin Durant to play the three, makes it a little bit easier, gives the Suns more size, hopefully eliminates his more playing time for Mason Plumlee as well, helping out. I the Suns lack a lot of things, right? They need the extra rebounding, they need the extra defense. One thing that they don't lack is scoring. Like sometimes they lack scoring in certain games, but they have enough players that can score in bunches. It's just, can those players be hot for that specific time to go off? 10 reasons we should have won that game. The reason they lost, they're the Suns. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And John, I remember talking about this team and being like, a couple last week in the stream, being like, "Oh, we're so hyped. We're gonna." I had a feeling like, going into March, like there's some room to grow. Now, going into March, it's going to be a disastrous class. I've already looked. Boston twice. We got Minnesota coming up. Clippers. It's going to be tough, defensive, lanky teams that the Suns do not match up well against. But against teams like the Raptors, the Spurs, the Bulls, you think there's a chance of hope. Like, all right, they can beat down this bad team. Yeah, man. I don't know. And then tonight they're going up against the Pelicans, who they gave their only win in December to. The Suns are 1-12. The Pelicans were 1-12 in the month of December. 1-12, and their only win was just their Suns, and they were even more banged up at that point. Just crazy. The Suns will find a way to lose the game, and I'm sure tonight, even if they are winning in the third or fourth quarter, they will try to find a way to lose. They will. And I would rather have Boss Man over the likes of Damian Lee. Well, Damian Lee, unfortunately, I think was just being brought back just because he what was got hurt last season. The Suns wanted to give him that extra opportunity to value Damian Lee as an NBA player. I don't think that in any way or shape or form they saw him necessarily playing. Nurkic straight cheeks, yeah, he's not that great. I think the team that Beal should go to is the Bulls, and we should get Vucevic and Lonzo. Lonzo's gotten a lot better. I mean, I wouldn't mind Lonzo or Vucevic, and I think a trade with the Bulls would make sense. It's just tough to get, obviously, Bradley Beal to want to go to Chicago. That's the main headache. Thank you, John. Getting Bruce to sing the outfield. My work here is done. Keep up the great content. Thank you so much, John. I really appreciate that. And guys, definitely check out John's work over on Suns Jam. He'll be going live post game. I mean, I obviously have my post game video as well. But if you want more, inside information, more breakdowns, possibly even catching me in a live stream, chatting up there here and there, definitely go check out Suns Jam Pod with John and Matt. They do absolute fantastic job. And check out Bright Side of the Sun as well for great articles that you can get from me, but also some other great writers headed by John as well. But not playing Ryan makes me think he wants to get fired. Dude, that's what I honestly think as well, man. Johnny Ray, 100%. It screams to me that Bud knows that his job might be out the window, and he's kind of just like, eh, I don't really care, so whatever. Which is even crazier to me, because then you get into the conversation of 4 coaches in 4 years. Is that what you want to do with his organization? No, but like, is there anything better that you can do? No, but are you gonna blame the coach every time as the scapegoat? No, like, it's so every like what I've realized with this team is every point that you can bring with this Sun squad, right? Any point that you can kind of come up with is just rebutted by something just ridiculous at any point, right? Like you could talk about one great value about this Suns team, but then you could say, well, they could do this better, or they could do this better, or they could do that, and it's just puzzling. It's hard to wrap my head, honestly, around the direction of this team, what they're trying to do. They don't have their first round pick, so why are we not playing our best defender? Why are we running a different lineup every other single night? Like we're at the point where we're just throwing stuff at the wall, just trying our best. Bol Bol versus Zion, yikes! Yeah, I know it's not. Zion's big body versus Bol Bol's lanky body. Gonna be a matchup of how do I word this? I don't even know, and I'm on live, so it's not good. Uh, Weird parallels, I guess. The opposites matching up against each other, I guess, is the best way to put it. I'm trying to think of something creative. On draft night, we need Dylan Harper or Cooper Flag. Well, unfortunately, the Suns don't have their first round pick, so they will not be getting either of those guys, as Dylan Harper and Cooper Flag are number one and number three, respectively. The only way I could see the Suns doing something like that is if the Rockets pick if the Suns pick turns into a top 3 or 4 pick, and the Suns trade to the Rockets for it. That's the only way I could see that happening. But that would have make the Suns pick convey to be that bad. And who if the Suns finish at 11 or 12, I don't think their pick's going to be a top 3 pick. Please don't. Big Merc, I hope not. I hope not. I really hope not. You think we would look better with Nick Nurse? No. 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 Nick Nurse, unfortunately, Johnny Ray. See, this is the thing. I'm not gonna say that I'm a coaching connoisseur, right? Because I don't necessarily know who are the good coaches. I don't necessarily pay out attention to that. I would think that for this Suns team, if they're looking for a new head coach, right? You don't look what we've already invested in, right? Monty was a play because he was good, cool at CP. You know he was gonna to blend in well, and it was gonna work, right? Then you look at Vogel. Vogel is for defense because you needed more defense. You needed the extra help on the defensive side. But Monty's now brought, or now, not excuse me, Monty Bud's brought in for the offense. Clearly, the offense can still shine, in my opinion, without an offensive head coach, as we saw that with Frank Vogel, as this offense was better last season with Frank Vogel. So I don't think they need an offensive head in mind coach at all. In my honest opinion, I think that the Phoenix Suns only need a guy that is going to build on relationships and develop this team. You're looking at the potential of possibly trading Kevin Durant and then possibly losing Devin Booker as well, or having to trade Bradley Beal, doing whatever. This team might have to go into a soft reset or initially into a full reset if the soft reset doesn't go through fruition. So if that's the case and you're the Suns, you need a coach that can work with young guys and build the maturism of this team. A young guy that is going to gel with these types of players and understand and reconcile with them. Look at the good teams around the league. They hire coaches or bring in coaches that are top tier assistants or guys that have been working for a couple of seasons. Vogel obviously was a scapegoat for the Phoenix Suns, and I will be the first one to admit that because I was on Frank Vogel's neck all offseason saying, oh, it's going to be different. Oh, it's going to be so much better. And clearly it hasn't happened. So my bad on that part. Frank Vogel is 100% better than a coach than Mike Budenholzer. And if you go back to the videos talking about the coaching stuff, you would know that I said that I didn't really like Mike Budenholzer at first. I didn't think he was going to be a good head coach for the Suns team. And clearly it's really panned out. I truly believe that the Suns need a coach that is going to be someone that's going to be able to get in with these young guys and really instill a culture in this team. Look at the Charlotte Hornets. They just went and hired Charles Lee from the Boston Celtics as assistant head coach, and he's a little bit of a younger guy. And yeah, the Hornets haven't really taken off or done much, but they've built something. They've actually instilled a culture this season, and it's not just random guys that are going to play street hoops. That's what the Suns need. They need a coach that is going to instill something into the organization so that the players believe, the fans believe, the front office believes. So we're not just having a coach carousel go around like this every 5 seconds with this Phoenix Suns team. Because that's what we've seen the last 3 years, and that's what ultimately we could possibly see even at the end of this season. All right, we're going back up to the comments. All right. Like how Brawadis crash out. Oh, Brawadis crash out. The Valley Trucker. What's up, Valley Trucker? How you doing? We should fire Bud. He's like a mix of Monty and Frank. What do you think? I also feel like the olden coaching systems don't work anymore. We need a younger coach example of the Cavs last year. That's another beautiful Valley Trucker. Beautiful. I was just vocalizing that right now, and that's why I definitely saw why you said remind, please. So I got you. That's exactly what I'm saying. Kenny Atkinson is another great addition like that. Look at a guy like we know Ime Doka had troubles, obviously, with the Boston Celtics, but looking past the personal issues as a head coach, look what he's been able to do in Houston as the head coach. Look at what Joe Mazzulla has been able to do with the Boston Celtics. Look at what Jordy Fernandez has been able to do with the Nets, the dysfunctional Nets, a team that everybody thought would be 15th in the Eastern Conference, would be 100% in the Cooper Flag sweepstakes. And look at them. They're a team that potentially could compete for a play-in spot at this point. There are so many coaches that are in this, like you said, younger player coaches, guys that can work with this youth movement, build up through some of these guys. And I really think that should be great. No, not Monty. Not Monty. No, no, no. Now you're required to win against the Spurs with no Victor Wembanyama. Yeah, exactly. And then we lose. And then we lose. Monty was in the same draft as Jay Kidd and Drake and Grant Hill. That's what I'm saying. I think no, not Monty. We need a younger person. And to be fair, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, right? Like 100% transparent. I don't know who's available on the market, right? I don't know struggling head coaches. I don't keep up to date with college guys. Oh, should this be the Suns' new head coach? All that stuff, right? I'm not like that deep into it. But if the Suns decide, which I ultimately do think they should, go into another coach, which once again, another coach, another scapegoat, whatever you want to say, it's not great. It's not a great look, but Budenholzer is not helping, and Budenholzer's not going to help, right? You look at all the question marks that have happened with this team, and it's revolving around rotations and who's getting what minutes and sporadic minutes and all that and switching up the rotations here and there. And like, if you had someone who was accountable for it and knew what they were doing, then it'd be now Coach Budenholzer isn't entirely at fault either. The front office is also at fault because the front office constructs this team, the front office builds this team, and they put together a roster that is not championship worthy. 100%. Not championship worthy at all. No defense, no added wings. That's why the Suns needed to get Jimmy Butler. Not because, oh, they need another star. No, because Jimmy Butler was the only player that fit what they needed and was available. If they could have traded, if they weren't in the second apron and Bradley Beal didn't have a no trade clause, and they could have traded Bradley Beal to any other team, they would have traded Bradley Beal for Andrew Wiggins, in other pieces. They would have figured out a way to get those defensive wings into this system by sending out a player, regardless of his name was Jimmy Butler or if his name was Cody Martin. They were going to try and get some added defensive help. And unfortunately, with them being the second apron, with the no trade clause, you physically can't do that. But going into next season, that's going to be the goal, regardless if it's trading KD or if it's going to be trading Bradley Beal. We need Seth Curry back. Seth Curry is not good. Seth Curry is not good. I hate to burst your bubble. Seth Curry, for all the Charlotte Hornets fans, is a fantastic Charlotte Hornet because the Hornets have no destination this season, right? He can be a player that can come in, shine, drop 15 or 20 sporadically here and there. You're like, oh my God, he's in his hometown. He was born in Charlotte, obviously, with Dell playing there. It's a great story. But Seth Curry at this point of his career is not a guy that's on a vet minimum, moving place to place, getting valuable minutes. For the Hornets this season, he's going to be a guy that comes off the end of the bench, and going into next season and further, if he is in the NBA and is on the Hornets, he's going to be a fringe bench piece for that team, not a player that the Suns desperately need to go after. We should have went young when we had the chance. That's what I'm saying, and I don't know. Like I said, there could be some other coaches that you guys know. I don't think we'll get Dylan Brooks. I mean, Dylan Brooks isn't even like that terrible. Like for what the Suns need, he would bring again value at the wing. He's going to be a guy that's gonna talk and play some good defense. Yeah, he's gonna have some quarrels and stuff like that, and he's gonna be getting into some vocal issues. But Dylan Brooks on a Memphis Grizzlies team a couple of seasons ago isn't a good option on a championship contending team. I 100% agree. But Dylan Brooks as a fourth, fifth option for a team trying to pursue a championship is 100% viable. The people that were saying that he needed to go to Guangdong after that playoff series were absolutely out of their minds. I don't agree. I think we are good. We are good even with Beal. If I had to try to trade someone else, it would have been Ties. Well, that's something that I talked about too, and that's where I kind of resulted with this Suns team is the main goal, in my opinion, was to try to move off the Bradley Beal contract. Not due to the fact that Bradley Beal is a bad player, but due to the fact that Bradley Beal seemingly doesn't fit and isn't worth $50 billion in a no trade clause. Now, if the Suns were unable to move Bradley Beal, now they still have a lot of players that play similarly like Bradley Beal, correct? They got Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Grayson Allen, Tyus Jones, Royce O'Neal, all of those players combined. So I believed that, like you said, if they weren't able to move off of Bradley Beal, they still should have moved off of these type of guys. Grayson Allen's making what, $15 million? He's a tradable contract, and a lot of teams could use shooting at the 3 point and at the wing. So why not look like use a player like Tyus Jones or like a player like Grayson Allen to get another player like another defensive wing or another center to help out with you in the front court. Similar with Tyus. Tyus is obviously on that veteran minimum contract, so there's no, to my opinion, no long term agreement with Tyus that he's going to be staying here and competing. Clearly, as if he isn't working as the starting point guard with this roster, and it took forever for him to be taken out the lineup, then he shouldn't feel respected and shouldn't want to stay here if he was promised to be a starting point guard and to help his team go in the finals and do good in the playoffs. He doesn't do that. He also gets benched. I don't think he's coming back to Phoenix. So I agree with you 100%. That should have been a player they looked to move for what, two, three second round picks at least? Two, three second round picks could have been extra draft capital to attach with Bradley Beal, Grayson Allen, Yusuf Nurkic to get better contracts, better players to help us compete this season. And that's the one thing that really puzzled me with this Suns team is after they made that Yusuf Nurkic move, they decided to do nothing. They just said, no, that's it. What do you mean that's it? We don't have a backup center. Now Bol Bol has emerged as that backup center, but no one thought that that was going to happen because Bol Bol was in the doghouse regardless of how many players were hurt. If the Suns had Yusuf Nurkic bench and Mason Plumlee and Oso Ighodaro out, Bol Bol still wasn't playing. So the fact that he emerged out of nowhere was super shocking for all of us. And that's one of the great parts about this Suns team has been Bol Bol and how he's been able to emerge for this Suns team. But yeah, like I said, just craziness with this team, and I'm realistically shocked that no other moves drastically happened. Like we did Nurkic, I guess Bobo could, but like you still needed extra wings, you still needed defensive help, and you still held on to players like Tyus and Grayson who don't help that out at all. They just go out there to be like, all right, yeah, I'll go hit a couple of threes for you and increase the score. And yeah, that's great. I'm not knocking these players on what they can bring for this Suns team. I'm knocking the fact that the Phoenix Suns have 7 guys that do the same thing. What it is. They have 7 guys that do the same thing. And guess what? You look at the teams around the league, the top tier teams in the East, in the West. Guess what? Their teams aren't built on just offense. They're built on both. They have a top 5 offense and a top 10 defense. Those are the best teams in the NBA. But guess what? The Suns, nowhere near the top 5 defense, more like bottom 5 defense. Sucks we traded Tamara just to trade him. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, why did we? And there's so many things that could have been avoided. There's so many things that could have been avoided. You all know. You all saw the video that came out today, right? The Boss Man video, right? If you didn't know, if you didn't see, Jay Crowder came out today, yesterday, and basically was saying, "Oh yeah, no, I want to stay in Phoenix. That's why my teammates didn't come out and get mad at me when they tried to trade me. They basically forced me to be traded, and it was because Monty Williams didn't like that Jay Crowder challenged him. That's why Jay Crowder got traded. We lost Jay Crowder just because of that." What's this organization doing? We have a valuable player that can help us win. And because he challenges our coach, we're going to say goodbye? Oh my God. Pretty sure, don't quote me on this, pretty sure Monty was the one that stopped the Turner trade too for Eaton, which caused obviously the Nurkic trade and Kamara trade, which would have completely erased that if the Suns got Obi Toppin and Miles Turner. Who's to say that they would have traded for Bradley Beal at that point? Just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. Dylan Brooks is Nurkic 2.0. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think Dylan Brooks wouldn't be that bad. I don't think he'd be again fantastic, but I don't think he'd be that bad. We don't use him like an actual point guard anyways, and the way Book has been facilitating, it's not like we can sign Tyus next year anyways. That's what I'm saying. They're Point Book is the experiment that we saw last season, and a lot of fans, including myself, said we need point guard. We need point guard. We did need a point guard. We needed Monte Morris type as point guard, defensive playmaking type point guard, and Monte's been great, but Monte doesn't play. Now Monte's been hurt, but even before Monte got hurt, Monte doesn't play. So where's that? Like I said, I think again, they're not getting Amen Thompson. They're not getting Alex Caruso, but players like that would have been perfect to pair alongside Booker because it allows Booker to still play that point book, but allows them to have a secondary ball handler slash another guard that can facilitate the offense if need be, if Booker is either out or the team is pressuring Booker with him playing point and kind of using Booker as a secondary scorer coming off his screens as a catch and shoot player, all of that jazz. Tyus, unfortunately, I thought was a perfect fit. Was 100% wrong. Willing to admit it. You guys know me. I 100% will admit when I'm wrong. I hate the people that are in. I'm not calling names, but I hate the people in sports media that will never admit they're wrong and dance around the circle and pretend that they were right. No, I'll say when I'm wrong, and I was 100% wrong on Tyus Jones. I thought Tyus Jones was going to be the perfect fit. I thought he was going to be one of the perfect things for the Phoenix Suns. I thought he was going to save the season. Well, guess what? Unfortunately, that's not the case. Tyus Jones, unfortunately, was a disaster signing. Has not helped at all. Has not moved any mountain, and ultimately is going to be leaving this Suns team next season. So that's what I get. Ayton was those guys Pat Bev was talking about saying they don't even like to play basketball. Well, the thing is with Ayton is there are definitely some character issues with Ayton and Monty, right? And maybe that stemmed even more into the front office. I wasn't covering the Suns back in the time that all this was going down, even when Ayton signed the extension. So I don't want to be saying specifics because I don't quote me on anything. You know what I mean? But if Ayton had problems with Monty, maybe those problems were also infiltrated into the front office as well. And if that's the case, and that's what's happening, right? I'm speculating, not saying this is the truth. If that's the case, then I understand why they still look to move Ayton with bringing in Vogel. If I were the Phoenix Suns, after moving Monty and bringing in Vogel, I still would have tried to keep Ayton because Ayton's still the number one overall pick. And yes, he's looking for a contract. Yes, you just gave him a big contract extension, but he's still got 3 years on it. You still have time to find another deal. Truly, what this shows to me is that the Ayton relationship was just ruptured completely beyond repair at that point, and the Suns were just needed to do something different because once again, you have Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker, and you decide to add Yusuf Nurkic at center, but then not add any defense, add Grayson Allen, another scorer and shooter. Like what? Like what? And that's no knock on Grayson because he's a good player. He's efficient. He was the best 3-point scorer for the Suns last year. I'm not hating. It's just that Grayson could be so much more valuable to another team in the NBA, but also the Suns could get something valuable that could help them with the team that they have built around Booker and Durant to help them get these wins instead of losses, but instead they just have the same pieces. Yeah, Ayton dominated against the Suns. I just have my Ayton jersey still. We need to make a rebuild. Ooh. Let me know. I don't know. I don't know if I could do this or not because I don't have 2K. I'd have to figure it out, but I feel like a Suns rebuild would be kind of fun to stream on 2K or something like that. If we did that on Suns Digest. Now that would obviously be like a summer type thing, you know what I mean, kind of in the off season, but maybe that's something that if I'd probably have to get an Elgato to or a capture card to like stream my game. I don't I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know how to do that. But I don't know. Maybe that would be interesting. I think that would be fun. If we don't make a rebuild this offseason, I will crash out. I don't think they're going to fully rebuild. I think they're going to reset or retool. You're the man, bro. I love your show. Keep doing your thing. You gain you gain the fan with me. Oh, I appreciate that, the Valley Trucker. Thank you so much for coming into the stream and appreciating it. And showing some love. Once again, these we go live every single Thursday at this time. I know it's a little weird Phoenix time, right? Because I'm not in Phoenix, guys. If you guys don't know, I'm in the East Coast. So it's currently 6 o'clock for me. It's a little bit more easier for me to get these streams in now because I do this similar time for my other channel for the Celtics, but also just because sometimes if the Suns are on, a little bit earlier, on Eastern close time at 7. At least I can get the stream in before the game. Obviously, a little bit later today. And for you guys in Phoenix or on the West Coast, it's a little bit weird of a time. 4 p.m., 3 p.m., it's kind of midday, a little bit tough. So I know it's a little bit difficult for you guys to get in here, but I do appreciate you guys coming by, hanging out, and chatting in the stream once again, and always being in here weekly. And Valley Trucker, I hope to see you amongst everyone else that we always have here. Big Merc, King Nacho, Johnny Ray Lopez, Phoenix Suns #1 fan, always chilling in the chat because we always have some great times. My boy John as well. Suns rebuilds are hard, bro. Do trust. That's what I'm saying, but I would want to make it realistic. Like, that's the thing. I'd want to make it realistic. 100% would want to do it like that. And even like with you guys too, like with the chat, like we could just look at the team, be like, all right, this is what we need to do. Let's fix this. Let's fix that. And 100%, I think we could kind of finesse, but like not really. Like, you trade Grayson Allen. We all know that there were teams that were interested in Grayson Allen at the trade deadline. There were teams that would value Grayson Allen if you put him on the trade block. It's just, what can we find? Possibly, Obi Toppin. That's what I'd love. You know who Danny 2K is? I do not. I do not. They get Eaton back, I'll be so freaking happy. I don't think they'll get him back, and unfortunately for Eaton, I think that next year we will see him on a new team. I think that at the end of this season, with Klingon's emergence with the Blazers and the Blazers kind of figuring out a core with, Tumani, Scoot, Shaden, Avida, Klingon, um, and many others, I do think that the Blazers will be a team trying to, maybe not be interested in contending, right? But making some small moves, and I think Aiton could be one of those guys. Aiton, I believe, Aiton's what, 30 million on a contract? Let me check. 4 year, 132 million. Ooh, that's imagine he signed that with Indiana. That would have been nice. 34. Yes, he's making 34 next year. He is, so next year is 1 year. Okay, so yeah, that makes sense. Next year he'll probably get traded because he's going to be making around 35 million. And for the Blazers, they could break that up. Now, teams interested in Aiton, I don't know. It's going to be tough. Teams that need an offensive center. Let's see if I can think of any. Toronto, maybe? If they want to go a little bit younger, want to take some value in, try to see if they get rid of Podol. Sure, Utah would always take a flyer. Brooklyn, Washington, maybe. I don't know. I don't. I got to do some more research before I just start naming teams. Thank you, Phoenix Suns fan. I appreciate that. Thank you for subbing to Celtics Digest. Yeah, like we have a bunch of channels over on Digest Media itself, not even just basketball, but with like hockey, baseball, football, all that stuff. I don't believe we have Cardinals Digest at the moment, but when Cardinals Digest does come out, I will definitely be letting you guys know. I won't be on Cardinals Digest. I'm not a Cardinals fan, unfortunately, but I'll definitely be keeping an eye out on that for you guys. Before we do sign off on the stream, though, I do want to go over the prediction for the stuff. Maybe Magic's? Are you talking about Magic Digest? We do have a Magic Digest. We do have a Magic Digest. If you want, Phoenix Suns #1 fan, I can if you how could I do this? I don't think you're in the yeah, no, because I don't have a Suns channel in the Discord. I was gonna say if you have Twitter, if you follow me, I can let you know what channels we got for Digest if you want to check them out. But before we sign off, I want to go over the predictions for this Suns team. So let's go over it. I put out a poll today on Twitter. So let's check the poll. Let's see what everybody thought. If you guys are on Twitter, definitely. Ooh, drove a Tesla for the first time. Shit was cool but weird. Shout out Eamon, my boy. That's actually kind of cool. That's actually really sick. That's actually kind of funny that he's getting that plug over on the stream here for a team he doesn't support. But shout out my boy. But the Phoenix Suns take on the New Orleans Pelicans in the next back-to-back. The last time they played the Suns gave them the injured Pelicans their only win in December. The Pels were 1-12 in December this year. What do you think will happen tonight and tomorrow? Oh, Magic for Aiton. I actually like that. I actually like that. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie, Phoenix Suns #1 fan. That's actually really a good spot. Very good defensive team. Could use that offensive center. Uh, I really like that. I really do like that. I'm gonna have to go into Spot Track and find a trade out for that after. But what do we think happens tonight and tomorrow? We have 9 votes. 22% of the people said that the Suns will win both. 44% said the Suns will split. 33% said the Suns will lose. So my guess is what? 3 votes for lose both, 4 votes for split, and 2 votes for win both. Unfortunately, I think it's going to be a split. I think that the Suns will win tonight, but I think they'll lose the next game. And if we want to look at the preview for the rest of the week with the Suns, we do know, if we want to go here, like I mentioned, they take on the Pelicans tonight at home. We look at the schedule, pull it up. After that great win streak, they got tonight versus the Pelicans, Friday versus the Pelicans, where tickets are as low as $11 and $8. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish I was in Phoenix to go see a game. $8. Wow. All right. If you're in the Phoenix area, take advantage. Even if the team is bad, take advantage of these tickets because $8. If you saw an $8 ticket in Massachusetts, you would freak out. The tickets, the cheapest ones to go to the Celtics are like 50, man. But Pelicans twice, and then we get into the tough part here. Minnesota, LA, Denver, Dallas, Memphis, Houston, Sacramento, Los Angeles, Toronto, Chicago, Cleveland, Milwaukee, Boston, Minnesota, Houston, Milwaukee, Boston, New York, Golden State, Oklahoma City, and then it's tough to end the season. This week, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 games this week. As we all know, that Denver game will be on Friday. So, pretty cool, pretty good week for the Suns. They got Thursday, Friday, Sunday, Tuesday coming up. Thursday versus the Pelicans. I'm calling this one a win. Let's get it. Let's get rowdy tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hope for a big win in after tonight's post game for the Suns. A little bit of a redemption game after losing to the Grizzlies. Let's get a big win versus the Pelicans. Potentially, let's win both. But I think we will ultimately split it because it is the Phoenix Suns in 2024, 2025. And then Minnesota Lakers, or not Lakers, Clippers. Minnesota on ESPN Sunday night at 9:30. Me and my brother will be watching that game live as he is a Timberwolves fan, and I will be crying myself to sleep. And the Clippers Tuesday. 1-3 is my predictions. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Would not be shocked if it went 2-2 if they were to win both Pelicans games, but if they go 1-3, that is my honest prediction. The only way I see an actual point guard to really work on this team is he has to be like Chris Paul, someone that doesn't take no for an answer and that actually demands the ball. I think that too, but I also think someone that can be worked better off ball and like as a secondary point guard would also be able to help because you have Point Book who needs the ball in his hands to score, but then you're gonna have times where you need to take Booker out and you still need that distributor and playmaker and someone to kind of run that offense. And I think a guy similar like Amen Thompson or Caruso could kind of do that, or anyone that they could potentially find. I'm gonna have to with the Phoenix Suns, right? As we all know, if they do go into this soft reset rebuild, right? Like if they do go to look a little lower, we're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to be like a draft guy. I'm gonna have to be paying attention to all that more than I am the season, and that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be fun. I think we'll drop this game against the Pels. We have lost 9 of the last 11. Yeah, 2-8 in the last 10. Not great. 9 of the last 11. I don't think Tyus has that feel. I feel like he doesn't want to rub Book the wrong way. Yeah, I don't know what's up with Tyus. And coming off the bench, like he hasn't been great either. So it clearly shows that he just hasn't been a great fit, and it's just been tough. Unfortunately, like I said, I was very high on a player like Tyus. I thought he could be a starting point guard, but I think at this point it's kind of evident that he's a clear, very, very talented backup point guard in the NBA, and that's what he's going to be evaluated around the rest of the league, making next year around probably like 9 to 10 million. SGA will MVP because who else would? I agree. I think he's going to win MVP. Um, Thunder just absolutely on a tear. No one's taking them in the West. I just voted to split the Pels games. Thank you, Big Merc. I appreciate that. I saw you follow me on Twitter the other day. Don't worry. Joking. Jokic is averaging triple double. Hard to say. Voter fatigue is the only way I'll say Jokic doesn't win. That's the only way. You should come to Phoenix and let the fans watch, party, and cry and pain. I mean, I'd love to. The thing is I saw the other day, Valley Trucker, is that courtside tickets for the game are like $300, right? Which is just like crazy because I don't know if a flight would be cheaper. Now, unfortunately, I do try to do as much media coverage as I can, but I don't make enough money to unfortunately be able to travel. But one of these days, I want to go to Phoenix. I want to go. It's not the Footprint Center anymore. We'll have to wait and see what it's called. But I want to be able to go to these games. I want to be able to see the Suns fandom, hang out with you guys, have some watch parties, do some stuff. It's just that at this at this point, I physically can't. But hopefully, going into next season, depending on what kind of happens, that can be a thing. Like I said, I cover two teams and willing to take any opportunity or any possibility that I can to help this in my career as I want to do this full time. So regardless if it's covering the Suns or covering the Celtics, I definitely will be striving to do that or covering both simultaneously, like I am doing now. But if I could get one of them locked up full time to potentially do, if that meant moving to Phoenix, that would definitely be something that I'd be willing to do because I love basketball. I love this Suns team. I always have ever since I was a little kid. Little me watching Sports Center, going to school, getting ready before, and seeing little Steve Nash play for this Phoenix Suns team really, really inspired me to, fall in love with basketball, see somebody that looked very similar to me could do something like that. And growing up in a family that didn't have much of a basketball influence besides my grandma, it was very, very hard to kind of watch basketball or see basketball. So my very earliest fondest memories are around the Phoenix Suns, around the Celtics kind of winning the championship, but mainly, my beginning memories are with watching the Phoenix Suns. So that's what I tie with basketball. So I'm really appreciative with that. And can't wait to see what this Suns team can ultimately do tonight, this future, this year, next year, whatever. I get frustrated when I see the turnovers. I do too. I do too, man. The turnovers are not great. Turnovers, not great. They've been slowing down a little bit, Big Mark, though. They've been slowing down a little bit. But I do want to say shout out to everybody that came through the stream. We are going to be wrapping it up as we are getting close to that hour mark here, and it's been absolutely fantastic. I didn't think that would get to an hour by myself going over all this Sun stuff, but you guys were absolutely great. I want to give a huge shout out to everybody that was in the chat today. So from Phoenix Suns fan number 1, King Nacho, my boy Darth Voida, Big Merc 83, Johnny Ray Lopez, David Ray, the Valley Trucker, and yeah, that's everyone that was in the chat today. Huge shout out to all of you guys for coming through, hanging out, letting us know what you guys ultimately felt about this Suns team down below in the comment section. But like I said, every single week we go live here on Phoenix Suns, our Suns Digest, every Thursday, breaking down the Suns team. So if you enjoyed the content, want to make sure you stay up to date on everything revolving around this team, you know what to do. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. Let us know down below in the comment section how you guys feel about this Suns team. And it's not like we just do these streams every single week. We also do, videos almost every single day. And we have videos coming out about the Suns every single day on this channel. So if you want to make sure you stay up to date on that news as well, post games, updates around players, looking at breakdowns, all of that jazz, this is the place for you as well. If you do enjoy the Suns content that I do provide, if you are just a Phoenix Suns fan, you can also catch me not just on video form here, but in other places as well, discussing the Phoenix Suns. I'm on the Suns Planet podcast with my boys, Fallen Founder and Kevin. So if you want to check me out, we go live every single Saturday at 11 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Phoenix time for you guys in the mornings, where we break down and we take some trips. We'll be taking a trip to Colombia shortly. We'll also have some writing for the Phoenix Suns, where I write for Last Word on Sports and for Bright Side of the Sun. So if you enjoy some writing, you like to do some reading about the Phoenix Suns, you can definitely check my work out there as well if you do enjoy these videos and contents, and if you enjoy my breakdowns of the Suns as well. I'm not forcing you to go to those places, but obviously if you want some more information, want some stuff, or to find out about my son's ideas and topics that I necessarily don't talk about here on Son's Digest, those are other places to check me out. If you want more basketball content from me, you can find me out over on Celtics Digest, where I do cover the Celtics as well, but I know not a lot of you guys care about that stuff. But thank you guys once again for coming. Thank you guys once and for all. You guys are absolutely fantastic. I look forward to these streams every single week as well, Big Merc, to see you in the chat alongside Phoenix Suns fan, King Nacho, and all the familiar faces that we see. You guys light up my day every single Thursday. When I know that I'm going live and I get my big key viewers in the stream, it's always great. So thank you guys once again for tuning in, hanging out, chatting, and breaking down this Suns team with me on this Thursday. I'll catch you guys in the next weekly stream next Thursday. Hopefully, we might see Curtis with us as well. Catch you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Go Phoenix Suns, and hope to catch you guys in the post game following the Pelicans game. Peace out. Have a great rest of your night, and see you later.